One player that I expect to be in one of the hottest trade markets over this upcoming offseason is Devin Vassell of the San Antonio Spurs. And I think that when he dropped a career high or tied his career high with 37 points this year against the Brooklyn Nets, it really highlighted his ability to hoop at a high level and to create his own shot. And I really think that he'd be a great fit in many NBA teams that are maybe entering a rebuild. AKA, I'd really like to see him on the Phoenix Suns if they end up trading for a guy like Devin Booker, for a guy like Kevin Durant, trading for a guy, the Spurs trade for that person, of course. Today I want to talk about Devin Vassell's career. I want to get into what made him a good player, and I want to break down a bit of his game. I want to do all that. If you like what you see, like and sub. Appreciate you guys for watching as always. And yeah, let's go. Devin Vassell, coming out of high school, was a 6'5", 170-pound shooting guard from Peachtree Ridge High School out in Suwanee, Georgia, in the class of 2018. He had many decent offers. I mean, there's some decent schools in here: Stetson, Indiana State, Furman, but one stood above all, and that was the Florida State offer. Getting a Florida State offer compared to his other ones was a very high level offer for Devin Vassell, and I'm not shocked that he took it. It's with a good program, and it just makes sense. I mean, he probably could have went to Furman. That would have been like my next best one, but those facilities at Florida State, the competition you're going to be playing against, it was very, very good. And for being a 3-star and 164th in the nation, according to 24/7, the 33rd best shooting guard, the 9th best player in Georgia, I mean, that's pretty good. When we look at the people in Georgia who are ranked above him, I mean, I literally see 0 future NBA players. I see EJ Montgomery, Ashton Hagans, Reggie Perry, Kevon Moore, Landers Noli, Marion Jones, Imanze Ngemzi, and Nelson Phillips. I mean, there were some pretty bad options in here. And it's not shocking to me that Devin Vassell, it's not shocking is the wrong word. It's shocking to me that Devin Vassell turned out to be as good as he was. Devin Vassell should not be this good, but he turned out to be one of the better players coming out of Georgia, if not the best player, and he broke out eventually with Florida State after a lot of hard work. Devin Vassell at Florida State was listed at 6'6", 180 pounds, and would play a good 2 years for the Seminoles. I mean, his freshman year was a lot of just coming off the bench and filling in where he needed to be, but there was one huge thing with Devin Vassell that everyone loved. That was his 42% from three. Devin Vassell was letting those threes fly at a very high and efficient rate, but he only averaged 4.5 points a game and only attempted 2 threes a night. So when you really think about it, he was kind of just going 1 for 2 night in, night out. Some nights going 0 for 2. Just is what it is. Didn't average 1 rebound, no assists, no steals, no blocks. Strictly catch and shoot in the 10 minutes a game that he got. He started no games, but that wasn't his breakout year. His sophomore year was the Devin Vassell breakout, and the Devin Vassell breakout came full force. And that next year, he'd start all 30 games that he played in. He averaged 12.5 points, 1.5 steals, 1 block, 1.5 assists, 5 rebounds. He'd shoot 53% from the 2. He'd shoot 49% from the field and 41.5% from 3. Basically, he tripled his minutes and is still arguably one of the better shooters in the country, because he was taking 3.5 to 4 3-pointers a night and was making 41%. Those are high tier numbers. There's a reason why Devin Vassell got drafted, and he ended up being a 2019 to 2020 all ACC level player at Florida State. Now, after you break out like that, it's important that you move on to bigger and better things. And that's exactly what Devin Vassell was looking to do when he declared for the NBA draft. Coming into the draft, he was listed at 6'7", 200 pounds, and was given some decent scores. A lot of 7 and 8s on NBA Draft.net's ratings. Some notable ones: the jump shot was an 8, NBA ready was an 8, potential was an 8, the size was an 8. I mean, you really saw just a lot of 3-and-D, but can create his own shot. When we really look at Devin Vassell and like his build and his archetype, he's made to be a very good player in this league, an all-star level player. He has the defense, he has the shot, he has the creation, he has the finishing at the rim. Even though it's kind of iffy, he can do it. He can finish at the rim. Devin Vassell is made to be a top tier player in this league. It's just not going to happen on the Spurs anymore. I would love to see him in Phoenix. I would love to see him in Utah. I would love to see him in a team like Chicago. There's so many places I'd love to see Devin Vassell go, but I'm just worried that the Spurs are going to hang on to him because he's such a valuable 4th, 3rd option that why would you get rid of him? A lot of his strengths came from his athleticism. Devin Vassell was an amazing athlete. He showed a lot of promises as a wing that could contribute on both ends of the floor. He was a high flyer with a good jump shot and was destined to be a very good fit in many NBA teams. His wingspan was nearly 7 feet long at 6'7". He has a crazy build. He was a good rebounder considering that he played on the outside and the perimeter with 5 rebounds a night. He's a tough competitor and he hits a lot of clutch shots. Like I'm repeating myself 50 trillion times, Devin Vassell was destined to be great. He was destined to be great. The only problem was at the time was his isolation bag. Now, could he isolate? Yes. But was it top tier? No. In my opinion, this is nitpicking from NBADraft.net. I think he was a very, very fine level isolation player, especially for being 6'7" with a 7-foot wingspan. The one thing I will say that I agree with him though is he only got to the free throw line 2 times a night, and when he got there, he shot 74%. You can improve on that. You can draw more fouls. The percentage will come once you shoot more free throws. Get to the line more, Devin. That's it. He was compared to Kelly Oubre, and in his career, he's 1-7 versus Kelly Oubre. But I will say, I think this is a perfect comp for Devin Vassell. I think Devin Vassell is a better Kelly Oubre, but I think right now in his situation, he's being held back to play like a Kelly Oubre. I think this is a perfect stat. The picture's on the screen, of course, but look at how similar these two are. It is a very, very good comparison. I love the Kelly Oubre comp, and I do believe that he's going to be a better Kelly Oubre in like 2 seasons. I want him off the Spurs. Please, San Antonio, trade Devin Vassell. I'm tired of him being wasted there. Let him cook. In the NBA, however, Devin Vassell is averaging 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists on the Spurs while never really being that true number 1 option. When we think about it before, there was DeJounte Murray. Then from DeJounte Murray, it went to, okay, you're in a bit of a standstill, but then it went to Wemby. And then it went to De'Aaron Fox and Wemby. And another issue has been Devin Vassell's health. He is not the healthiest player. But when we look at years like 2023 to 2024, where he averages 19.5 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, shoots 37% from 3 and 47% from the field, those are phenomenal numbers. But the big one is this season. We're in 51 games. He started 40 of them, 31 minutes a night, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 43.5% from the field, and 35% from 3. Devin Vassell is putting up all-star level numbers if he gets the opportunity to be the number 1 or number 2 option. Less talent around him. If you make him your number 1 option, I promise you, he will be serviceable. Will he be great? I don't know, but he's for sure a top 5 second option that you can have for a lot of teams. And I'm talking realistic second options. Like if your second option is Jaylen Brown, he's not a second option. He's just a worse first option, okay? Devin Vassell is a true like number 2, number 3 guy, but I'd love to see him cook on a rebuilding team. I would love it. Here's Devin Vassell's 37-point game against the Nets pulled up. We're going to break down a few of these buckets, show you how tough he really is, and just show you why I believe he can be a number 1 option for a very good team. Just give him the chance. The first play I want to highlight is actually his second bucket of the game. He already hit a 3-pointer at this point. He gets a screen from Bismack Biyombo at the very top near the logo. And as you see, Cam Thomas, that's the guy you want on you, okay? You're going to be attacking Nick Claxton here. I'm going to go ahead and slow down this video just for educational purposes, 0.75. Vassell's going to take him right, size him up. He already has too much space. This is like 3 feet, 2 feet of space. Nick Claxton is too far back. Cam Thomas actually is able to recover. But at this point, Cam Thomas's momentum is all going that way. Vassell just needs to step back or spin or do something to create that space. He stops, he spins, that's an open shot, and Vassell has a nice midi on him. I love his shot creation in the post. This is probably the highlight of the night for Devin Vassell in this situation. Ball is saved by Keldon Johnson. Vassell is off to a slow start here. I mean, Harrison Barnes, I want to say that is running around him, but this ball will end up in the hands of Devin Vassell. So far, he's on fire. Chris Paul. What a pass from Chris Paul. I mean, he's just the greatest point guard ever. I'm just kidding. He's not the greatest point guard ever. He's arguably the greatest true point guard ever, but that's a different conversation for a different day. Devin Vassell is attacking the rim right here. And I'll give you 3 options of what happens right here. 1, he dunks it. 2, he posters it. 3, he ends Zaire Williams' night on a major boom right at the rim. Great finishing. That's where the athleticism comes into play. Gotta highlight this one. Maybe the last one might be one more. Third quarter now. We jumped really far. Spurs up 20. Watch Vassell here. He's right up here where my mouse is. This is, first of all, one of the worst passes I've ever seen from Keon Johnson right to Vassell's hands. And now all of a sudden he's starting the break. You think he's going to pass this with the night he's having. He's just going to pull up for 3. He does have a bit of a weird jumper, but that's okay because he's Devin Vassell. And on this night, nothing was missing. That is going to do it for me, though. I appreciate you guys for watching. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about Devin Vassell today. He's a really underrated baller, and I really want to see him thrive somewhere else. Appreciate you guys for watching, liking stuff for more content. But yeah, let's go.